Unfortunately, many people know unsolicited nude pictures are sadly the norm these days.
But new legislation is set to tackle online flashing. Political correspondent with the Irish Sun, Adam Higgins, and cyber psychologist Nicola Fox-Hamilton join us. Good morning to you both. Adam, let's start with yourselves. Online flashing, cyber flashing. First, what is it?
So this is the original idea to include this in the legislation actually started during the pandemic when you might remember everything moved into Zoom, and then there was reports of if you had like a Zoom yoga class or a Zoom council meeting, someone was hacking in and exposing themselves to everybody on it. So that's originally where the idea came from, to include this in the legislation for the new Media Commission. But it does also include then, for example, sending unsolicited or unwanted sexual pictures to people in direct messages on social media and things like that. So that's where it all came from.
So currently, if someone sends a picture, an unsolicited picture, that you do not want, a sexual image, can they be prosecuted for that, if you know who it is?
They can, yeah. If someone sends you a picture, at the moment, there's two things you can do. You can go to the platform and ask them to tackle it. So the likes of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Twitter, all these sort of places, and ask them to tackle it. You can go to the Gardaí and ask them to investigate it, and they can investigate it under criminal law, and it is an offence. It carries up to 2 years in prison. And what this commission will eventually do is have a third place you can go, which is an individual complaints mechanism. You go straight to the commission and say, I'm not happy with how the social media company has dealt with my complaint. And then the commission will pick that up on your end and go and say, look, why aren't you dealing with this?
I mean, it's frightening it's taken so long for this to come in, but it's good. How will they go after the companies on this?
So that's the big thing. I remember Catherine Martin is the minister that's leading out on this, and I remember a few months ago she had a press release and she said that the Commission was being given real teeth to deal with these social media companies in the form of fines. So the fine will be up to 20, it can be 20 million will be the lowest, or 10%.
The lowest, wow.
Or 10% of the company's turnover, which obviously for the likes of Facebook and Google is enormous money. And if they still don't tackle that, and it goes on, you can also take criminal action against the management in the company, so they could make criminal offences and be prosecuted under that. So that's the sort of teeth they'll give. Now, whether that's going to be, this commission will be all bite and no bark, or all bark and no bite.
Yeah.
I mean, will they simply threaten these fines, and will they go through with them? And how does the social media companies react? Will they take legal action to challenge these fines? So it's going to be very interesting to see how this washes out.
We've started to see fines, being perpetrated on social media companies that are, we've seen biggest fines ever this year on them. But Nicola, when it comes to this, already it's a criminal offence with up to 2 years. But it's everywhere, right?
It is absolutely ubiquitous.
So it's not a deterrent?
It doesn't seem to be, no. It's anywhere you're a woman online, you are at risk of getting sent unsolicited graphic images or messages or videos. And it's so ubiquitous, it's not even in places like just online dating where you might kind of expect to find it to a degree. It's on LinkedIn, it's on Amazon Marketplace. You're shopping for shelves and someone's sending you this back in return. It is ubiquitous. So it doesn't seem, I don't think people realise that it's illegal. And I think maybe the conversation that we're having around this now is really important to make sure people realise it's illegal and to help perhaps stop it.
I was even just hearing about this morning. I couldn't believe it. Like on a plane, you get an airdrop and it just pops. And you think about the kids and teenagers that have phones and this. Like, it is quite... Why do people do this behind a hidden platform?
Well, they're not always even hidden. So they do it through airdrop where they are hidden, but they will do it when they are also not hidden and not anonymous. So it's not just anonymous accounts doing this. It's actual regular people who do this on the regular basis. And the reason they do it is fascinating. So it's not transgressive to a lot of men who are doing it. They're doing it because they think women will like it. It is a partner hunting strategy, a mating strategy. So they think that if they got messages, they would be quite excited. So they think that women must think the same way. So they send them because it excites them, because they're proud of it, they feel good about sending it, they think that women will be excited, will send images in return, or will hook up with them. That is the vast majority of men. Now, there is a minority of men, so about 10% do it for power and control, which is like offline flashing. where it's not really about sex.
No.
It's about manipulating another person's emotions, making them feel disgusted, degraded, shocked.
Yeah.
And then there's about 6% who are doing it for very misogynistic reasons. They hate women and they get pleasure out of sending these messages or images because they know it'll cause a reaction.
I'd like to say as well that women do send these as well. Like there is definitely women. This is not exclusionary. Both sides of the coin on this one as well, where people do not. Yeah, you know what I mean. Where you don't want to be getting stuff that people are being sent to you. Do you want to talk more on that? No. If this is happening, first of all, can I ask you? This is not a good mating strategy, right?
It's not. No.
Thank you. Okay, I just want to clarify that for everyone.
The research shows, anecdotal evidence and the research show that women are disgusted by it. They do not enjoy it. They do not find it exciting.
No.
It's not a good mating strategy. It doesn't work. Women, in particular, you're going about your day and this arrives, with no context, no warning, you don't know the person. It's disturbing. Women are shocked. And it's happening to young girls. 11, 12 years old. Sometimes their older siblings are managing their social media accounts for them to try and, delete these before they see them because they remember how shocking and confusing it was for them. So that's really disturbing. And that's particularly places like Snapchat, where grown men are sending images to young girls.
So should parents, as soon as they hand over a phone to their children, be having this chat with them? And what do you even talk to your kids about with this?
Before you ever let your kid near it. You should be doing this early, like way before you think they will ever need it. You should be having a conversation about the kinds of things you might see online, because it also, people come across pornography accidentally sometimes.
Yeah.
So, what do you do when you come across something like this or something that shocks you or confuses you? How do you deal with it? What are your strategies? Come and talk to us about it, those kinds of things.
Adam, real quickly on this, because if these fines are so big, we know that these companies are multi-billion euro companies and that they're not putting as much money as they could into their prevention measures, which they could be doing. They have algorithms to find these things online. If a female nipple goes up on some platforms, it can be spotted within 15 seconds and taken down. They have the technology. Do we know if this will be a deterrent for them to go, right, rather than being fined 20 million, should I spend that 20 million on some people to stop this happening before it can get into an 11-year-old's account?
Yes, so I think the government are kind of basing a lot of this legislation on the idea of an online safety commissioner on the Australian model. And Australia initially brought this in, and there was a bit of backlash from the likes of Meta and Facebook and the bigger social media companies.
They said they were going to turn off turn off in Australia.
Yeah, and they said they were going too far, and there was already police laws there to deal with this, and why did they need extra laws and things like this? But the government now are saying that when you look at what's happened in Australia, they have come into tow. They've started to, do what the laws are saying and comply to these online safety codes. So I think that's what the government want to see happen now. They you want to use these threats as something that will push the companies to take action.
It's a real positive thing. I'd love to hear from people at home on this. 0896 111 111. Is this something that you have to deal with your own children? Is this something you have to deal with popping up on your own phone? We'd love to hear from you as well, because it is great news that this is coming into law as well. Listen, Adam Higgins, political correspondent with the Irish Sun, and cyber psychologist Nicola Fox Hamilton, doctor. Thank you so much.